Howdy y'all, my name is Miss Fisk and I'm from Texas. Today I want to talk to y'all about the different places in America. We distinguish these different areas of America by dividing them up into states, just like Alaska and Texas are each their own state. Some of these symbols include things like a motto, a state animal, or a tradition. What are those things, you might ask? A motto is a short phrase or saying that represents something or someone. A tradition is a practice or belief that people pass down from generation to generation. These are things like holidays or birthdays. Usually when states pick their animal, they pick one mammal. A mammal is a warm-blooded animal that has fur or hair and gives birth to their babies alive, meaning they do not lay eggs. There are many differences and similarities within the different states of America. Today we're going to read a book that's going to tell us about all of the symbols and things in Texas, and we can talk about how they compare, how they are similar or different to the ones in Alaska. Welcome to Texas. Welcome to Texas. We're so happy that you're here. In Texas, the capital city is Austin, and the state nickname is the Lone Star State, and the state motto is friendship. I wonder what the state motto and nickname for Alaska are. Howdy y'all, it's Cowgirl Fisk here, and I'm just here to help us figure out some of the similarities and differences between the symbols of Texas and Alaska. So what was that first question that Miss Fisk asked? Alright, it was, what was the motto of Alaska? We know that the motto in Texas is friendship, just because we like our folks to be friendly and kind and welcoming. But I did learn that the motto for Alaska was North to the Future. And this represents the land of promise that Alaska holds, and that symbolizes, remember our word symbol, the state's potential and goals for the future. Ain't that something? And she also asked what the nickname for Alaska was, which I learned is it's actually the Last Frontier, which I think they named it that because of all of the land in Alaska that has yet to be settled in, which means that people don't live there just quite yet. So there's still lots to be developed in Alaska, meaning it's the last frontier. Texas is big. It's the second largest state in the USA. It has big ranches, big farms, big forests, and big cities. The word Texas comes from the Native American Caddo people. I wonder who they were. They were among the first to live on this land. The Caddo word Taisha means friend. Tasia, Texas. All the different things in Texas right there. We have a guitar, a snake, the Alamo. We'll talk about that later. That looks like a cowboy. A big state like Texas needs 3 official state mammals. The first one is the Texas Longhorn. Can you guess how the Texas Longhorn got its name? The horns on these cattle can grow as long as 10 feet across. The next one, we have the 9-banded armadillo. This clever creature keeps safe with its armor of hard scales. It finds insects to eat by burying its snout into the ground. Lastly, we have the Mexican free-tailed bat. In Austin, from spring to early fall, you can see the Mexican free-tailed bats flying from under the Congress Avenue Bridge when the sun is setting. How many do you think there are? 1.5 million. I wonder what the state mammal for Alaska is. Howdy y'all, me again. I heard Miss Fisk ask another question, and that is, what is the state mammal of Alaska, which I'm sure you all know this, but it is the moose. Now, do we see any similarities between the moose and the longhorn? I think they both got really big horns, and with a moose, it's called antlers, but you see they're very large, just like the longhorns. But I do think that the moose has the longhorn beat on size. I've heard that a moose can get bigger than a car. Isn't that something? Next we have the state bird. The state bird of Texas is the mockingbird. It loves to chirp and tweet, and it even sings the songs of other birds and animals. But don't let that pretty song fool you. It's also a fierce fighter. If an animal or a person gets near its nest, the mockingbird will swoop down fast to scare the intruder away. So her protecting her nest. I wonder what the state bird of Alaska would be. Howdy. Do y'all already know what the state bird is for your state? I do. It's the willow ptarmigan, which I don't know if y'all knew this, but it's spelled very funky, ptarmigan. But one similarity that these have with the mockingbird is that they're also very protective of their young. A difference, though, is that the willow ptarmigan, the male actually takes care of the babies and protects them from the predators and scares away those nasty predators. Now we have the state flower. The state flower of Texas is the bluebonnet, which got its name because the petals look like bonnets which pioneer women in Texas used to wear to keep the hot sun off their heads. All the pretty bluebonnets and the bonnet on her head. I wonder what the state flower for Alaska would be. And just like she asked, here we have that state flower of Alaska called the forget-me-not. And in my opinion, I think these colors sure do look similar. They're both that bluey purple. I think it sure is pretty. Now you might hear Texans always saying, "Remember the Alamo." They are talking about a famous battle in San Antonio when Texans fought to make Texas a separate country. You can still go to the Alamo today. Texas was its own country for 10 years, but in 1845 it joined the United States. So all the guys fighting for their independence. Mexico is just across the border from Texas, and many Mexican people call Texas home. On Christmas Eve, it's traditional for Mexican families in Texas to make and eat tamales, which are corn husks filled with cornmeal dough, meat, cheese, or vegetables. Feliz Navidad! Texans love food. Luckily, Texas is a state with lots of good things to eat. See, we have sliced jalapenos, tacos, queso, one of my favorites, cheeseburger, barbecue is huge in Texas. Chicken fried steak, fried okra, another one of my favorites. Which one is your favorite? Texans also love football. In cities and towns across the state, fans gather on Friday nights to watch high school games. Go team! Would you like to meet a real cowboy or cowgirl? You can at Rodeo Houston. At the livestock show, watch cows being milked, honeybees buzzing in a hive, and chicks hatching from eggs. So grab your cowboy boots and your cowboy hats, and let's go! A big place like Texas has a lot of unusual things to see if you're out for a drive. First, we have Cadillac Ranch. Are those cars growing out of the ground? Artists created this strange ranch in Amarillo by burying 10 Cadillacs nose down. Visitors from all over the world have come and painted the cars bright colors. Then we have Big Tex. Look way up and say howdy to Big Tex, a 55-foot-high cowboy who towers over the State Fair of Texas in Dallas. Look how tall he is. Then we have Miss Pearl, the giant squirrel. Cedar Creek is home to Miss Pearl, the world's tallest squirrel statue. Why is she holding a giant pecan? Nearby is a vending machine that sells freshly baked pecan pie. If you love Texas, then you are a Texas kid. And Texas kids are the best. Look at all the different kids in Texas. And that was the end of our story. In that, we saw a lot of similarities and differences between Texas and Alaska. We both have a state flower, a state mammal and bird, and we all have a motto and a nickname. And we learned the differences in those too. Did y'all see any similarities or differences too? What about the sports that we play, or the activities that we like to do, or the food that we like to eat? What did you guys hear? Exactly. There were a lot of good similarities and differences that we can see between Texas and Alaska. Hey y'all, remember how in our book we talked about the two different flowers, the Texas bluebonnet and the Alaskan forget-me-not? Well, today we're going to be flower artists and we're going to draw them. Come on over. Alright guys, we're going to start off with the Texas bluebonnet. So first we're going to draw our stem. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to do a little curved line just like that, and then we're going to follow it right back down to create that stem. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw our little tear-shaped petals right at the top and just make a little group of them and then make them go smaller as you go further up. Awesome. Now we're gonna continue our stem out just a little bit to hold our petals. And for our petals, we're just gonna draw some circles to create the petals of the bluebonnet. And do this until you're happy. You can put as many or as little as you want. All right, that looks pretty good. And we can't forget to add our little football-shaped leaves right there at the bottom. Now, all we have to do is color it in. So first we're going to start off coloring our stem. Our stem is going to be green, a very pretty green. Next, color our leaves. Just a slightly darker green, just to add a little extra color in there. And lastly, we will color all of our petals. This pretty blue color for the Texas bluebonnet. I'm gonna go ahead and color all these leaves and I'll come back, okay guys? All right, so that is our finished bluebonnet. We have the big green stem and the little green leaves with our blue petals everywhere, and it looks so pretty. So next we are gonna jump right into our Alaskan forget-me-not. And y'all should be pretty familiar with drawing these, I bet. We're gonna start with our circle in the middle that we're gonna color a pretty yellow. And then from there, we're gonna draw our 5, kind of like a heart-shaped petal, just a little. We're gonna draw 5 of these. We're gonna try and get them as evenly separated as possible, but it's okay if it's not perfect. Mine's not gonna be perfect. And last one. Gorgeous. And now we're gonna go and draw our stem, and we're gonna make it come out right here. You can make it come out wherever you want to though. Just one line and then follow it right back down. And then we can't forget our leaves, and these are gonna be a little bit smaller than our bluebonnets. Just like that. Now that we have it drawn, let's get to coloring. Gonna use the same green for our stem. A little bit darker green for our leaves. For our big yellow center right there. And then again with our pretty blue. Alright guys, and here we have our finished project. You can see that we have the Alaskan forget-me-not and our Texas bluebonnet right next to each other, just like best friends. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you to finish coloring your background, fill it in however you would like, whatever you're feeling. And then I want on the back to write a sentence about the similarities and differences of your flowers. You can talk about the petals, you can talk about the leaves, you can talk about maybe some of the different colors, but just write a sentence about a difference that you see in those two flowers. And I hope that y'all enjoyed this lesson. I know that I enjoyed talking to you guys. Bye!